Hello, 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 hello. This is the Poetic Perfectionist Podcast. I am your host, Sophia.
And I'm your other host, Abigail, but you can call me Abby for short.
How's it going?
Surviving. I'd like to be thriving, but, we're working towards it.
Don't worry, girl. Your goal of getting a sugar daddy is on the way. I see it.
I don't know about that, but at this rate, I think the chances of the odds is just about as good as like me becoming a self-made millionaire.
We gotta, put all our eggs in every basket.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, yeah. So, how are you doing? How's life? What you doing? Where you're going? Who you doing?
Okay, that's a lot of questions, and I don't have answers to all of them. But the main focus right now is, I've got coming up. I want to focus on your birthday, of course, because top of the priority list.
Best holiday ever.
Yes, I don't know why it hasn't been made national there. Just
I know, right? The nerve of them. You know how
the
many
nerve
great
indeed.
people were born on November the 12th? Me. I was.
The top of the list.
Top of the list. Fun fact, I share a birthday with Omarion.
Oh, no way.
I know.
That's kind of cool.
No, it's not. Not
Okay.
after the disastrous versus battle that he did. I'm no.
Okay, yeah, that was pretty bad. I forgot about that. I'm still thinking about him like from like, his highlight days, up at
Yeah,
the top
yeah,
days. Yeah.
yeah. You know who I do wish I shared a birthday with?
Who?
Ray J, because his performance at
I'm
the
not
battle
gonna lie,
was
his
hilarious.
performance was pretty good. His
Till
performance
my
was
baby's born. Till my baby's born. This shit still cracks me up.
I was like, how the baby? I blinked my eyes and the baby was on stage. I was like, what in the world? Where the baby come from? I
I
was like,
saw
I
him.
know.
I saw him, and I said, "I know Ray J is gonna make me laugh. I just know it. I know he's gonna make me laugh. He's gonna turn this battle around. He's gonna make me laugh. He's gonna guarantee me some laugh." And he did.
Listen, he knew where his talents lied in comedy. So that's what he delivered.
He was a comedian, and he didn't even realize it.
Right? He missed his calling.
Did he though? Did he? So aside from, oh girl, pull it together. Okay,
Oh,
all right.
sorry.
You end up in the hospital. We gonna send Ray J the bill.
Yeah,
Okay, pull yourself together.
okay, I'm pulling myself. I'm pulling myself.
So
Oh
aside
boy.
from like the greatest holiday in the world, i.e.,
Mm.
my birthday. I mean, what else do you have planned? For the rest of you got Thanksgiving and all them other little holidays.
She said them other little holidays. Like Thanksgiving is only one of the biggest holidays.
Yeah,
To be
whatever.
honest,
After my
I feel
birthday.
like yes, only second to your birthday, of course, of course. Spending
Hmm.
time with family, who needs that?
Right? Well, actually, no, I do need them because my birthday comes first. I need them.
Of course you do. Of course you do. It's very important.
Yeah.
Okay.
24 hours of telling me about how great I am. I love it.
Yeah, like that, like the meme from what was it? I forget what the movie was called. Something about talking dogs or something. And then there's a poodle in there that goes like, "Can we just talk about how pretty I am?" She's like, yeah. What you're talking about is really important, but let's focus on the task at hand, the real important nitty gritty things.
Me.
Exactly, and all the glorious that is me.
Yeah. I can't believe the year is almost over.
I know it just flew by. I don't even know. Like I feel like I blinked my eyes. The next thing I know, it's already November.
That's exactly what happened. You blinked. You see, if you didn't blink, we'd still be in summer.
Like, yeah, right. It's so cold right now. Like I can't even believe that we're hitting close to like 20-degree weathers right now. Like it's low 30s. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like New England weather. Because,
I hear this.
today it's like 36. Tomorrow it's 82. Next week it's raining.
I heard next weekend supposedly. First, I heard this weekend was supposed to be like nice weather, like in the 60s, 70s, possibly.
Hmm.
And then I hear apparently a cold front is coming in, and we may or may not be getting some flurries. I have no idea what to believe. In New England,
I
anybody's possible. All the above could be possible too.
I can believe that because there are different parts of the country they were getting the wave, the cold front, and I
Mm-hmm.
think now we're gonna get ours. We're gonna get it, so I can see that. I
Oh,
think what was it, Minnesota? It was in Minnesota or Illinois. I mean, it's all the same thing. They're both cold. Listen, anytime, those are the states I focus on because they understand what cold is. Anybody
mm,
that lives down south, nothing against y'all, but y'all don't know what cold is.
nope,
Okay. You
nope.
think 70 is cold. No. Okay.
70s are cold
Anything below 50, listen, you understand what cold is.
and consistent at that too. Not just like one day and all of a sudden everybody's freaking out. I'm
And
talking about
there's
consistent.
different levels too. You go to Chicago, they got that wind that just
Oof.
smacks you in the face.
I don't know if I had to take it. I mean, like the bitter cold when it has the wind,
Ooh.
it's tough. It's tough, because it's like if it's snow on the ground, it's like it's inconvenience. That's true, but it's like you layer up, you're warm. But when they got that bitter cold and it's the biting wind, I don't know. It hits different. If I had to choose the two evils, I think there's the snow on the ground and the inconvenience would be a little better because at least you can have some sort of protection against that. The wind, on the other hand, listen, you pull that coat tighter and tighter, it won't make much of a difference. Your eyes will be streaming, your nose will be running.
Oh,
It's like the trio combo of a hot mess. You be getting in there. Like if you had mascara on and it wasn't waterproof, girl,
girl. you
you're looking a hot mess. You better put some
about
glasses on.
you about to look like JLo and that music video. All I have, where she had like that thick layer of mascara on, but she had the
Mm.
nerve to wear that short ass jacket. I was like, girl, you from New York, you know better. You know better. What the hell is that supposed to do? Her legs were all exposed. I was like, she's in LA filming. That's what that is. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Clearly, it's Valley Girl's version of like I got a jacket.
I
I'm prepared for
know.
the cold.
And then LL Cool J was also in the video too, and he had like this light leather jacket. I was like, "You also from New York? You know better." I was that video pissed me off.
She
I
was
was like,
like
"Y'all should be
the
ashamed of yourselves."
the inaccuracy that's going on in this video right now just
But
upsets me to a whole other level.
I know. I think he's from Queens and she's from the Bronx. I was like, "You two know what cold is, all right? This is unacceptable." Nice song, I like it, but still, the video do over.
She's like, y'all need to stop playing these games. Stop
Hmm.
playing these games.
Don't let these people out in California fool you.
Nope,
They don't know
don't
what
let
cold
them.
is.
Don't let them.
So yeah, I'm not ready for the weather. I mean, granted, I've always been a fall winter baby, but like in the
That's true.
clothing aesthetic department, not in the actual I want to feel, but no. That's not my zhuzh.
Nope.
Um Never has, never will. But I mean, I still have to reevaluate my winter gear because they keep telling us, or I keep hearing that this winter is going to be a rough winter, like a rough winter. And it's going to go back to when we were kids,
Hmm.
like that type
Well,
of rough winter.
I just feel sorry for the kids nowadays. Now that they discovered like homeschooling can do it via Zoom, there's no
Mm-hmm.
snow days anymore. Snow days are the thing of the past. We got out when it was best. Now, no,
Oh,
there's no snow days anymore. School continues. You better log on to your computer, get onto that Zoom, and get your homework done. No
I don't.
skipping days. So
Oh,
now
that's
the teachers
right.
legitimately have a work from home option now.
I mean, will that even work? Because you still would have to coordinate that with you still would need time to coordinate all of that,
Well, I
wouldn't you?
think I would think so, but I think it's just like with the shutdown when they were teaching from home. I think they're just gonna do like the whole the kids that need the laptop they rent it out now before the winter starts type of thing, and
Hmm.
those who already have you just log on and be prepared. No excuses. If you miss and you don't come, then your grade takes a hit. Simple as that.
Oh, dang. Oh, well,
Hmm.
sorry, parents. Y'all just gonna have to figure out who's gonna watch little Timmy.
I guess so.
because they still
But
got to go to work.
as far as I know, I think it would they were only doing it for I think certain elementary grades, or I think it was middle school until high school that was getting that. I don't know if it
That
was
makes
all the
more sense.
students.
That makes
Yeah, I
more
don't think it was
sense.
all the students. I think it was like middle school to high school were the ones that were getting that. I don't think the other kids were, but maybe they were. Who knows?
I mean, if they were, I think that it was designed differently according to the
Mm,
grade level because high
yeah,
school and, middle school makes sense.
yeah,
But like the younger kids, I mean, like what are you going to teach a kindergartner from home?
that's a good question. It's just a snow day for them.
It's just a snow day. They're going to go right to the bed.
Yep.
They're going to be looking at you, looking at them, looking at you.
Yep, basically.
No.
I mean, the whole concept of them being like active, aware, and attentive in school as it is already difficult. Let alone you trying to keep this authoritative state from afar. It's
Yeah.
not gonna. That's not gonna work. Like you said, they're gonna get tired. They're gonna go to bed. Nap time.
Hmm. You
Oh,
don't just get up. All right, mama, I'm going to go to bed.
yeah.
I'm
I
sick of
mean,
this curriculum.
yeah. I think the early years, it's probably like how it was with the past. Like they would be out, but then the rest of us would still have to go to school. I think it's just how it's. That's just how it's gonna be. Or they'd have like they do the little delay thing depending on how the snow is and watch,
Oh, I
which
used to
was
hate
so
those.
stupid. The delays were the worst.
Those pissed me the F off because you would
It's just
already be
cancel.
dressed. You would
Yep.
already be dressed and you're just standing there waiting to see your name pop
Waiting.
up
Yep.
on the list. Thank God we were Brockton school, so we were at the top of the list, but still.
Right? Thank goodness. Thank goodness. As soon as I see our name, ooh, close came up. Shoot. Sometimes I'll be waiting till the absolute last minute before I got undressed and got dressed to go. Cause if
So did I. Because I was like, I know we're closed. I know it. I don't need to look at the TV, mom. I can look out the window. I see it. I know we're closed.
I think one of the smartest things that they started doing is when they did started doing like the parent calls. So then they did like call the house, and then
Mm-hmm.
the number would be coming. So even if you didn't see the TV, like sometimes it would be coming before the TV, letting you know like, oh, the school is
Yeah.
closed. Once I hear that recording, back to
Yeah.
bed it is.
My dad's number was always listed, so he would already be
Up.
at work. So he would call the house, tell the little girl to go back to bed. I already am in bed. I told you. You ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to tell me.
She said, "Got to tell B twice. Get in there and be a whole burrito."
I will be up for dinner.
Indeed. That sleep during a snow day just hit different.
It
You just felt
does.
so rest and peaceful and just rested like the parents aren't home because they got to work. They still got to stretch that snow and you out here just sleeping right. Like nobody's forcing you to be out here, clean something, wipe something, cook something, do something. You just got to rest and sleep. The best rest you ever got, uninterrupted rest at that.
I think that for the most part, I feel like parents are generally annoyed when their kid has a snow day and they stay home and then they still got to go drag through the snow and go to work. They be looking at their kid and
Mhm.
be like, nah, F y'all. I'm like, "Ooh, y'all gonna do something." Which is why I feel like a lot of them be making them like clear the snow in the driveway.
And we
It's
used to have
personal.
to. We used to have to like. I mean, my dad would wake up. My dad would wake up super early because he would have to leave by like 5 to start work for 6. So like 4 or 5, he would have to go.
Hmm.
So if it's a snow day, so he would be up around 4 just to see if it's snowing. So then
Yeah.
since we would have to wake up around that time anyways to see if school was going to be there, because we normally would have to leave like around 5, 6 the latest so we can make it to school for 7. So then
Hmm.
when we'd be up and we see where snow, so he would already be starting like shoveling and cleaning. So
Hmm.
then we would be up early. So we would help him clean out and leave sometimes,
Mm.
to go to work and then be sitting there waiting to see if our name would show up on the TV. And then it would be like the same for my mom. So then we'll clean like her car and stuff. So if she has to go to work, like the driveway's already clean, her car's already clean, and she's good to go when it started. They'd be putting us to work, man. Let me tell you, putting us to work for the longest. They basically part of it is like I think it was also expensive, but then the other part was like, oh, we have all these able-bodied children here. Why not send them outside to clean the driveway? Why we need to get a
Yep.
snowblower for?
No, not. I didn't have that experience. I woke up. My mom woke up. We both looked out the window, and we both saw my dad shovel the snow.
Now y'all watching this man shoveling the snow.
Legit.
Yes,
My mom looked
yes.
at me. I looked at her. We both looked at him. It was like, we should go make him some hot cocoa. I was like, you right. Yeah. That's
That's
why I feel
crazy.
like sometimes when my friends or like some family members, they be looking at me as like, oh, we got to shovel the snow. I'd be looking at them like, what is that? Like, what do you speak? What is that? Is that a new dance that
She's
I
like, I don't do such thing. My landlord does that. I just have to clean
right?
the car.
Right? I just clean the car, and that's a one that is exhausting for me. Cleaning the car, oh,
Mhm.
I'll be tired doing that. That's enough
Indeed.
work for me. I'd be like, oh, child, I need to go take a nap.
Mm, mm, mm.
So yeah. So here's to hoping. I kind of would prefer to have a bitter winter with little to no snow.
Yeah, I would prefer that too.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, how much is it really gonna affect us since we're working from home?
Um, Not that much, but still.
Yeah, I know. When we do have to go out, I'd like it to be like reasonable, not
Yeah.
crazy.
Right? We got to start our cars to make sure they don't die on us,
That is true. That
you
is
know?
true.
And you will feel it when you're paying the heating bill.
That is also true. That is very true.
So, yeah, there's just, but, don't nobody look over here talking about, oh, Sophia, you should come help me shovel the snow. I was like, I'm sorry. ¿Por qué?
No. Well, that's another thing. I gotta go buy some heavy duty drapes to put for the living room because the living
Yes,
room
you
gets really
do.
cold. Yeah. So, and then I already contacted like the landlord to like come and fix the door so that like cold air isn't coming in because I truly think that it's part of the reason why like part of our place is like so cold because it's like cold air is like coming in like straight from outside. I'm like, yeah, we need to fix that.
The
So I'm trying to like
audacity.
get the place ready and like winterize it so we can be good to go. So then that way when we do, because we're trying to hold out as long as possible. If
Oh, to
God
turn on the
willing,
heat.
yeah, if God willing, we can hold out until Thanksgiving. We'll be solid.
Yeah.
We'll be solid. Like I truly believe like we'll be solid because like if we do it any time earlier than that, whatever credit that we have, we'll blow through it in the span of 3 days.
Yep. Yep.
And we're not trying to do that.
Yep. So, yeah, I wish you luck, my friend. I wish you luck.
Thanks.
I know. I know that because of all of this, we will be staying home more, which means we'll probably be eating out less.
Oof, girl, I miss eating
Seasonal
out.
depression.
I miss our places.
Hmm.
I mean, which place, which are your top three that you miss the most?
Any of them that has the fully stocked bar. Let's start with that. Because
Do
it's
they
not
have
necessary.
names?
It's not necessarily the food per se that I miss. It's the attention to detail to my drink order.
Ah, that is nice. Sometimes to have somebody else doing it for you, and you just have to sit there, look pretty, and drink or eat it is the best part.
Hmm. So I would say like the top three for myself would be Capital Grill. I love that one. Eddie V's. Also love that one. And Maestro's. Love it. Actually, I love all the places that I go to.
Yeah, that's great. That's crazy because those are my top threes too. Literally in that order.
But it's very specific to the location because I think with I don't know about Maestro's, but I think with Capital Grill and Eddie V's, they have different locations. So the
Hmm.
one for Capital Grill, the one on Chestnut Hill, that
Yep.
one I like. And then
Oh,
for
so
Eddie
good.
V, the one in Boston, I like. I've been to the one in Burlington. It's nice. It's got the same vibe, but it's
Hmm.
not the same.
It's not the same, yeah. But
It's
I mean,
not.
I do like the one in Boston. What was it either in Prudential? Would it count as technically being in Prudential? Because you do have an access or
Yeah.
entryway from Prudential.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that one, that the Eddie V's in there, I really like it, and I do like the the live music that they play. I think Thursdays and Fridays, or is it
Ooh,
Friday
the
and
live
Saturday?
music. I think it's Fridays and Saturdays.
Fridays and Saturdays, yeah. I love the
Yeah.
live music.
I
There's always
love
something
that.
different.
I'd be like, look at you. And they always happen to book the right acts.
Mm-hmm.
And they liven up the area. I'd be like, okay, all right.
Yeah. So even at the bar, you're getting a good show,
Mhm, especially at the bar.
especially at the bar. Exactly.
Especially at the bar. I have yet to see, because I've gone to that location with a couple of friends,
Hmm.
and each time it's always been amazing. The one complaint I get went from and this is just a personal preference thing with them. The one complaint they always have is there's never enough cute bartenders. I was like, I can't do nothing about that.
Yeah. Seriously, we can't
Can't do
control
nothing
that.
about that. All right. All I care is, do you make a good drink?
Exactly.
Okay, man, woman, I don't care. You make a good drink, that's great. If you are heavy on the pour, even better.
She said even better.
Because I like my
Mm,
drinks strong.
indeed. Yeah, I
So
think.
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, oh, I think you're right. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. I know
Mhm.
going out with you though is a different experience because I'd be going out with a food critique. You
I
know.
mean, I wouldn't say fruit critic, but my thought process
I know
is
I did. I would.
these
I
these
did. Yes,
top
I did.
foods, you and everybody else. I just, I just think and have taken it upon myself that um, I'd like to save people from having to experience certain things, going to certain like restaurants that
Hmm.
I would have liked to be spared, because like I have some, experiences at some restaurants. It's like not the best, because for me, it's like I have like a dietary restriction, and I'm
Yep.
pescatarian, vegetarian diet. So it's like, in this day and age where so many people have like similar diet restrictions, and a lot of them, it's not just like, oh, a fad type of thing. It's legitimately like, oh, I'm doing this for my health, or
Hmm.
I legitimately cannot eat this because I'm allergic. Like, you being able to keep up with the times and being um prepare and having accommodations for people like that is like very important, because it's not like way back when before where nobody was really having allergies like that, or the allergy rates wasn't as high. There were some people that had allergies, but because the quality of our food was a lot better, like there was a lot less people that had these medical issues or that had the need to have these dietary restrictions. But
Hmm.
now when it's like, the masses are now having these issues, like you need to be able to be up with the times, have accommodations, have like, alternatives that people can have. And those things, I feel like, when people put in reviews, they don't put those things into considerations a lot of the times, like the parking, how the food is, the lighting, the setting. And I just feel like, I'm doing, I'd like to think I'm doing people a service being able to write down those information and give them an accurate depiction along with pictures, so that they have an idea, like, okay, this is what it looks like, this is what the bathroom is, this is what the lighting is, this is what they have available, this is what the menu, and this, that, and there. So that way, if you're someone where it's like you'd like to make a nice informed choice before you actually go there, and you're not like me in the sense where it's like, you just show up and you'd like to have like a fresh, opinion of the place without having somebody else's biases playing in your mind, then the reviews will help you. Like, they'll give you some ideas. If anything, if you take anything else from it, you at least will know, what, parking is not great. I need to leave extra hour in advance just so I can get good parking and have plenty of time to get there. Or the seating is pretty tight. I need to do a reservation and not try to attempt a walk in. That type of stuff.
Look at you being all prim and proper. Good for you. Look at you being an adult. Pat yourself on the back.
Adulting is not fun and it sucks. Whoever said it
Me?
was glamorous lied.
Oh, because they misery loves company.
Ugh.
But anyway, for me, listen, I completely agree with you on all of that. I really, really do. However, when I go out to eat, it is to escape, just to have just be in my little fantasy la la land. In my world, this is all that's happening. I'm here to have a good time, possibly a long time, maybe not. We don't know. We'll see
Mm-hmm.
how the drinks are. And then I go from there. For me, I just want to be able to relax, unwind, and have good conversation with whoever I'm chatting to, whoever's right there in front of me, splitting the bill with me, chitty chat chat.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you don't mess up my drink, because I'm more of a drink person, you're more of the food person. So as long as you
Oh
don't mess
yeah.
up my drink, we're off to a great start.
Yeah, for me it's the food. I've had some experience like literally everything was horrible. The only thing that was like okay was just the appetizers, which was
Mm.
a shrimp cocktail. And that's sad. That is very sad.
Can't mess that up.
What it's true. It's true. I mean, out of the places that you mentioned that the two of us have been together, another honorable mention I'd like to throw in there as well is also Il Massimo. Their drinks, their
Ooh.
food, oh my goodness. And not to mention the bartender. Can we
A
talk
couple
about,
a couple of their bartenders are really good. Like I've gone in there
hmm
on different nights. They're pretty good. And I will say I am very pleased.
yeah, but we do have like one particular one. He just like, when we used to go often, he just knew. He just knew. He was like, "Oh, do you want the same as usual?" Oh, he's like, "Oh, do you want a this drink or whatever again?" And I
Look at you
truly
being a
appreciate it.
regular.
I
Ooh.
I,
Miss
I like
VIP.
I like having to go to a place and have someone like remember you coming there the few times and then remembering a drink that you like and you ordered a few times. It just makes you feel special, you know? Like it makes you feel good. And especially if it's a place where it's like the price is reasonable, you get great food, great
Mm.
lighting, and it's like you can have kind of like the luxury experience without breaking the bank. Why not?
I feel like the Phantom Gourmet should hire you.
I don't think they can afford me, but I'm up for
They
it.
can try. They can try. They can try. You can freelance. You can freelance with them. Be like, we'll send her in. You know, she knows how she is. She's got class. We like her.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I'll tag along because I'm bored. I ain't got nothing else to do.
That is true.
Yeah, but I understand. You do want to have your regular spots, but you also I like being able to try new places at least twice, not once but twice. You
Yeah,
know,
me
catch them on a good day, catch them on a bad day. You know, you never really know, but you give it a nice spin the block kind of treatment. All right, we can do this.
I'd like to agree with you, but there are just certain places where I go once, the experience is so bad, I just would not ever go back.
Oh, you're one of
Yeah.
those. You burned me
Unfortunately,
once. I ain't coming back.
yeah, unfortunately, it's one of those. Like, I don't always do it for that. There's certain places where it's like, okay, it wasn't the greatest experiences compared to the top three that we've been to and that you mentioned earlier, like Capitol Grill, which is my all-time favorite, or Eddie V's, or Maestro's, or Il Massimo. But what I will say is there's certain places where it's like it's so bad that literally there wasn't even a thing that you could hold as being like, oh, this saved the night type of thing. Like, oh, everything else may have not turned out right, but this one thing that they did was so good and was like above and beyond the rest of the restaurants they have been to. So it makes it stand apart and stand on its own. They just had nothing to go for, you know?
You don't have to name the name, but of the place, because I have a feeling I know where you're talking about. Was I there
Yes,
during
you
this
were.
bad experience? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah. I'm
Forget it.
yeah, I would say I have maybe like three places in mind that I would not go back to. One would not go back to no matter what the location. And then two of them, I would give them a second chance purely because like the circumstances of when I went to them was a bit like it was during the shutdown, so things were a little bit different.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
would give those another chance because I feel like during the shutdown, it's just part in my personal opinion. I feel like during the shutdown, nobody knew exactly what to do during that event. Like no one really had like a go-to manual for that. So I would definitely give those places that you are thinking of another chance now that things have kind of like calmed down a little bit and they've kind of had time to like really, this is what we got to go with, this is what we're going to roll with, and this is what we're going to do. So I would give those places another chance. The other
Okay.
one, that was probably pre-pandemic. The one that I'm thinking of that you and I are like here on eye to eye, absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely not. And I think I will say this: I think the lighting was dark on purpose to try and distract us.
Oh, it was I've never been to a place where it's so dark. Like it was so bad, even the tiny little candle that they put on the table, I could hardly see anything with. Like why am I
Well, it was
leading
a
towards
fake
this
candle,
I
right?
know.
It was a fake
So
candle.
why am I leading close to a tiny fake candle just to be able to read the menu? I have 20/20 vision, I was struggling. So I can only imagine if you had glasses, how horrible it would have been.
I was looking at you, hoping that you would tell me what the hell's on the menu. I'm like, you know what? Her vision is way better than mine. She'll tell me because I can't see shiz. So I would definitely give those other locations another try. Now that things, people, better now. So now I would definitely give it another try with those locations. And then tell me how they are, because I'm curious to know. Especially if they do brunch. I'll join you on brunch. Which, by the way, brunch is the new club. Hear that, people? Brunch is the new club.
Oh, we like that.
We do, we do. What do you What would you say? I mean, I feel like we can talk about food all day long. I'm
Oh
surprised you
yeah.
haven't written a blog, like a blog, or started an Instagram thing or something. You got to do something about that. Your
I
food.
my thing is like I feel like a blog requires a lot more dedication than I just have right now. Between working like two jobs and now the podcast, I literally do not have any time. I barely have time to like make for my family and my friends, let
Mm,
alone to have to do like to dedicate to the whole um you know to a whole blog. So right now I just kind of satisfied the urge by like putting like like putting reviews on the Google reviews.
you mean your
Like
novels, the
they're
food
not
novels?
they're not novels. They're excellent.
When somebody pisses you off, they're novels.
Listen, if it's horrible, I want people to understand why. Because there's people they're like, "Oh, this place was horrible. I would never go back. You should not go there." And then they have no evidence. They have no reasoning why. All they put down it's horrible. What there's two sides to a story. How am I just gonna take that? If I'm telling you that this place is not good and I'm, potentially you know, putting a restaurant at a risk of them losing customers, I want to make sure if I'm giving them a review, it's a legitimate review and there's reasoning why, and I have evidence to back it up. Which is why if I go to a place for the first time, like I take pictures, I document everything like very well and very detailed. And I
Hmm.
give you a description exactly. Like I literally the same day that I go and have the experience while everything is fresh in my mind is when I write my review. I never wait like 24 hours or 48 hours and then writing this where the information is like foggy. Like in the moment while I'm there, that's when I'm writing it. I'm writing the review, I'm taking the pictures. Like I'm giving you evidence of everything that I've explained and the reason why this place was just not it for me or why it could potentially be a horrible disaster for somebody else.
So if I were to open up a restaurant, right, and I call it Boom Shakalaka, right?
Mhm.
You come down to Boom Shakalaka, and I specialize in Korean Jamaican fusion meal.
Mhm. That's an odd mix,
You come,
but
well,
okay.
I'm an odd person, so so
Okay.
there you go. So you come down there to Boom Shakalaka, having yourself an appetizer, of my Korean Jamaican fusion mix, right?
Mhm.
And then you take one bite into whatever it is that you ordered, and then you hate it. And then you go home and you write this detailed pictures, Adjectives, nouns, verbs, everything that you can throw at on this review. You mean to tell me that you don't have not one space in your little heart to give me a second chance?
Honestly, it all depends on how it is. If it was just what portion of the meal, then it's like, I won't be giving you that favorable of a rating. But if it's something along the lines like I come in, I sit, like everything from the moment before I even walk in the door,
Mm-hmm.
you're already being graded. Like one of the top horrible places I visited, there was no parking in the vicinity around. Like it was off street parking only, and the area itself was like in a residential area that it's like after a certain
Oh,
time,
that's the
most of the
worst.
parking turns residential parking. So it was horrible. The nearest lot was basically like 10-15 minutes walk away, which is not ideal and not very well. But if you can overlook that and that's no issue with you, okay, fine. Once I walked into the door, okay, the host stand was empty. There was no one manning it, and we had to wait for like 10-15 minutes for somebody to come
That's actually not.
to be seated.
That's actually
So that
not bad. This is coming from someone
it's
who used to work the hostess. That's actually not bad. If it's super busy and they're spinning the dining area,
mhm,
granted, somebody should be able to get to you within the 5 to 10 minute mark, most
yeah.
likely the 5 minute mark. So that is not
Mhm.
too bad of a wait.
Okay.
So
Well,
I mean, that's just me.
I put it down so that people are aware. If
Mhm.
that's not a thing for you, you don't see it. But then again, if people don't know that that's a thing that can happen and they're expecting to have someone already be there at the desk waiting for them, seating them right away, like they'll feel some type of way if that's not the case. So I
Mm.
want people to be able to set their expectations so that it's more accurate to what the place has to offer rather than being like, oh, well, I went to all these other places and this is how you do it. Because humans, that's just how we are. Like, we can't help but compare what we've already experienced with what we're currently experiencing.
Mhm.
And you can't help just being like, oh, well, this place did that better or X, Y, and Z. You just have this expectation, especially if you've experienced something that you feel like was quality, service. You're subconsciously going to be trying to compare other places that you go after that place to see if they match up or if they even come close.
Mhm.
Because then it's like, oh, until you find another place that's even better, then that'll take the place of what you feel like the standard should be, and so on and so forth.
Mm.
So if that hostess is not an issue, okay, so that's two things that's not an issue. The parking may not be an issue, the hostess may not be an issue, fine. They put you to seat at a table. The place is dark. You can hardly see the menu. The seats are
Oh.
so low that the table comes up to like your chest or your throat.
Oh my gosh.
Proper seating, okay, the table should be coming up to like your mid stomach to, like, depending if you're tall, maybe belly button area, or at least definitely under your boob or your chest area. Like proper seating, you should be sitting where it's like the table is not that far low. Like you should not be struggling to just look over the table. Like that's not
Mm-mm.
comfortable for anyone. Okay, so that may be an issue for someone. And that was one of the things I experienced. I'm short and my torso is not that long. As soon as I sat down, these seats were so low, I barely could see over the table. Like the table was almost lining up to my shoulders.
Oh no.
There should be no reason why I'm sitting that low.
And I'm guessing you couldn't switch for a different table.
Nope, it was a pack house that night, and that's all they said they had
Oh
available,
no.
unfortunately. Yep. So there was that. And then another one was I sat down, I could barely read the menu. Okay. Like I had 20/20 vision and I was struggling to read the menu. So as I said before, I can only imagine what someone who didn't have 20/20 vision, has glasses, and does have, difficulties with their sight would be feeling, like being seated in an area like that, having gone through all these things that they did before they even were sat down,
Mhm.
and then now to have to and now to have difficulties to even read what's available on the menu for them to order.
Well, damn, girl.
Yep. And then I sat down. What do I see? Dirty utensils, and
Oh.
my glass had a lipstick encrusted on it from whoever dined of I don't know when. Now that's
Mhm.
just pure sloppiness and laziness. Because if you're setting the table and you're advertising yourself as being a high quality place, these are the things that you should be paying attention to. Like, that glass should not have been missed being set on the table. The tables get set prior to before guests coming. There should be no reason why someone did not see as they were putting that there was a lip stain that was lipstick that was encrusted on a glass. That should not have been something that had been like discovered by, a customer when they come.
Yikes.
That should have been taken care of prior to that. Oh, well, we caught it in the back and then it never even made its way out to the floor. That
Yeah.
just tells you a lot about how much this place cares about the customers and also about how they're being viewed. Because if you care about your reputation and you care about the quality of food and the quality of service you're providing to people, these are the things you pay attention to. These are the things that is top priority. You make sure that is done well. Because at the end of the day, it's like, you know,
You
the
want to put
people
your
who
best foot
suffer.
forward.
Exactly. You want to put their best foot forward because you want people to come back. That's how your business thrive. If people don't come back and you keep having this high turnaround of people that only come once or twice, that's not going to keep you afloat. Word's going to get around,
Hmm.
and there's just so much more after that. Like,
You sounded so
literally,
traumatized.
it was very traumatic experience. Like, I ordered risotto for the first time at this place and I had such high hopes and excited to taste a new dish that I've
Oh
never had before.
no.
It was horrible. There was so
Yeah.
much oil in the dish. I laid a spoon on top of the risotto and it
Yeah.
sank and filled with oil. Nothing was oil. It wasn't even edible. Like, I could not even eat it. It was so bad I could not eat the meal. It literally was one of the worst experience dining out I've ever had.
My gosh.
Yeah. This was even worse than, when I used to go to IHOP and the last thing that made me stop going there was because I saw woodland creatures scurrying across the floor. And that's bad.
Not the
Woodland
woodland
creatures.
creature.
Listen, woodland creatures at any place is bad on anybody's radar. Okay? I
Yeah.
don't care who you are. I don't care what you do. I don't care how much you make. You see woodland creatures in the place that you're supposed to be eating, you immediately get up and walk the
You
other way.
scurry. You scurry away.
Exactly. Like,
Oh,
anyone
not the
of any
woodland
background.
creature.
Yep, nope. Even then, it was worse. Like, you can't be worse than a place that's catering to woodland creatures. You literally cannot.
She said, uh-uh.
That is the low of the low. That is the bottom of the bottom. That
She's
is the
like,
crack
that
of the
is
cracks.
the bare minimum, and you were worse than them. Uh-uh. Just
Hmm.
shut down the restaurant and call it a
Yep.
day.
Listen, that's just like an inkling of one of my worst experience. I mean, that's just me. I mean, have you ever had anything that's even close to that or experience that's like along those lines as well?
Um, once, twice actually. One was a and this was partially my fault because it was a brand new restaurant,
Hmm.
and I broke my own rule by going to the restaurant when it's like first open instead of
Oh.
waiting until the 1 year mark.
Hmm.
So I went. It was a friend and I, of one of my girlfriends and I. We went and we were like, okay, it's a steakhouse. We make it a point to try to hit up all the new places, that are up and coming in the area. And first of all, it was in like the weirdest. Their location was the weirdest spot ever.
Hmm.
I was just like, this is not. It's like by it's like in the central of the city, but like where it is, it's not really where you would want your restaurant to be in terms of like foot traffic or whatever. Like it makes sense
Hmm.
if you're doing lunch, not dinner,
Okay.
because they're surrounded by all the offices and whatnot. So lunch makes more sense as opposed to dinner. However,
Okay.
they don't do dinner. They don't do lunch. They only do dinner.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Um,
So that was a
the
big
talk about
no. I was like, why you not going to lunch?
that was the epitome of missing the mark.
Yeah, like you have all of these. You have it. Boston's very touristy, so you have
Yes.
it's super busy all year round. So you have all these people coming in. They're doing all of these random ass tours. They're in for
Mm.
school. They're out of school. You have all these businesses that are literally within walking distance. Why would you not do lunch?
I think lunch would have been the perfect for them. Not to mention a lot of like foreign visitors from
Mm-hmm.
other countries come in
Mm-hmm.
to visit specifically Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So why wouldn't you do lunch? But they
I
didn't.
think
That's their business. Okay, fine. So we move on from that. We were there for dinner anyway. We
okay.
step in. The place is beautiful. I will give
Oh,
them
okay.
that. The place is
That's good.
beautiful. It's giving that modern, upscale feel. So they hit the
Okay.
mark on that. That's it.
Uh, wow. That's
That's
sad.
it. That's it. We step in, we get seated. First of all, I want to preface this by saying that our server was great, despite the hiccups. The
Hmm.
server did nothing wrong. He worked with what he had, and I very much appreciated that.
Okay.
However, we're looking at the wine menu, and I'm thinking, okay, me and my girl, we're gonna split a bottle because we're both in a mood to drink wine. We're gonna split the bottle. She's going through the wine list, and I'm looking at the
Okay.
food, and she's just like, I think there's a typo here. Like, there's several typos in here. I'm like, that's weird. Girl, they had several bottles of wine, several in the $1,000 mark.
Wow.
I'm talking about you can pay your rent with one bottle, which
Wow.
I am not surprised that there are. They do sell wine. There are wines in that market. I just have never seen so many of them on that one menu, like all at one time. There was very few that was like under $200.
Wow.
I was just like, so who do you think you serving?
So not only were they in a awkward position
Mm-hmm.
for the meal time that they were serving,
Mm-hmm.
but they weren't even accessible in pricing so that they can have more guests come.
Based on the area that they were in. It's one thing if you're in
I
Beverly
see.
Hills. It's another
Hmm.
thing if you're on Newberry. I would expect this on Newberry, to be honest with you. I would
I
expect
know,
this
and
in
Newberry has
other,
plenty.
and I would expect that in other more. I'd even expect this in Seaport. Some crazy ass person in the Seaport area, I would expect this. Not where this one was. So it just caught me by surprise. And like our meal was okay. It wasn't
Yep.
surprising or anything, wonderful, but
Okay.
it was it was mediocre. I don't know any other way to say it. It was
Ah,
just
that's
mediocre. It was
disappointing.
mediocre. So I kind of am hoping that giving it some time and then go back again, maybe after a year or two, if
Yeah.
they're still there, that would be nice. I feel like if they had done a lunch kind of thing and
Hmm.
maybe do brunch, that would kind of like soften the blow on some things. But even then, I don't
I
know.
don't know. I mean, my thought process is like someone who starts off the bat with just only doing dinner, which is everybody knows the most expensive meal,
Hmm.
and the menu not even having a attainable prices
And that was just the
for.
wine. That was just the drinks menu. The food menu,
Yeah.
while it was reasonable, it just
Hmm.
wasn't. It was mediocre. It was mediocre, and I
Uh,
was just like, like I had more fun with just chit chatting with the server than I did in my meal. I was just like,
okay.
I mean, I guess. And then like there was like it was dark. Like the light was dimmed at some point, but then
Hmm.
something must have happened. Somebody must have hit the switch by accident or whatever. So it went black, and then they turned it back on, and it got bright. So you know how like when you go out to the club or whatever, and it's last
Yeah.
call, and they're trying to kick everybody out, so they turn the lights on.
Oh, okay.
It was like that bright. I was like, what is
Ooh,
going on? And
that's not
the
good.
bar area didn't really look lived in. It looked abandoned.
Ooh,
once
that's
they
not
turned
good.
the, once they turned the light on, I noticed the bar area. I was like, the bar area look abandoned. Like, what is going on? So I was
That's
just
not
like,
good.
oh, I was just like, this isn't good. And then
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
another situation that I had, it was not the food or anything. It was just our server. She was just not in a good mood. So she was just on one. But like
Yeah.
halfway towards the dinner, you were there, halfway towards the dinner, it was like she did like it had an out of body experience. She did a whole 180. All of a sudden she was like, was it
I
Gilda the Good
remember
Witch?
that. I remember that on your birthday. Oh,
I
that was
was like, what
wild.
the
I was convinced she had a twin. I was like, that cannot be our server. There must be another way that looks exactly like her. She must have a doppelganger back there or something. Like,
She
there's no
started
way.
off with just a major attitude. I
Oh
think
yeah.
somebody pissed her off and she couldn't hide
Mm-hmm.
it. So anything we said or did, if we breathed wrong, it irritated her. And mind you,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there, I was like, but I didn't do anything.
I
And,
know.
our other friend, she's there. She's also the birthday girl. She's the day after mine. She didn't do anything. So we're both looking at each other. I was like, who she thinks she's talking to? I was like, I don't know. But I am wearing white and I am not trying to mess this outfit up. So I don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You over there, sitting there in your seat, out looking at her, looking at us, looking at her, thinking to yourself, I don't know why she's giving me attitude. I'm the nice one.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, girl, I know you're not giving me attitude. I'm the nicer one out of the group. You better watch the tone because these two right here are a little bit protective. You look at their friend wrong. You're gonna find yourself in some back alley.
You're going to find
Mm.
yourself with a chair up your behind, girl. No. And then
No.
somehow she comes back and she's like so pleasant. And I was like, was she on
I don't,
drugs?
I don't
She was,
possibly,
did they wear
possibly,
off?
possibly.
I
Who
was
knows?
like, what kind of crack? But then again, that night was very interesting. My meal was, I had risotto. I vaguely remember I had risotto, but there was like pistachio ice cream in it.
Oh, I remember that. That
And
was
I
an
don't
odd
understand.
combination.
I don't understand why I ate it.
I don't know either. But you did say it was odd, but it was not bad. I do
Yeah.
remember you saying that.
I hate pistachio, but I was just like, it's weird. But then again, after that point, I don't really remember much. But I do remember waking up feeling like death. So,
Yeah, it was the clase azul. It does
mhm.
that to you, A couple shots of those, and then some of the other drinks that we had.
I was
Night
all
night,
loose like a goose.
night night.
I was like, we're gonna put me in bed. I saw a bunny. I tried to like get the bunny.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that. We're not trying to take you, Alice. Alice, come back, Alice. You ain't trying to go down that rabbit hole.
But the rabbit.
No, no, you don't need to get the rabbit.
No, yeah, it was definitely something. So I would say those are the top two bad moments that I had that were just like meh. But
Oof.
you live and you learn. Yeah.
I mean, those are definitely bad experiences. I'm not going to lie about that. Like, yeah, I mean, those can definitely be traumatic. Those experiences in itself would make me question ever going back to a place like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we wouldn't want that. I mean,
No.
if you have to resort to like not going back to a place, I mean, I'd rather you not go back than to go back and then
Yeah.
experience more abuse. At this point, you're just asking for trouble.
That's my thing. My hesitation from going back to a place is purely because if it were bad, this bad at a first impression, who's to say the next one they might not top that experience and make it even worse than it was before. I'm just so nervous. Like, it's like, it's one thing if it's like a minor issue, you can kind of forgive it. It's a different thing when like from beginning to end, the whole experience was bad and none of the staff is willing to even take responsibility for what has happened, especially in regards to like
Mm,
food and such not being too well. Like that's just my thing. And the place that I said was like not so good, and I would never go back to. It was one of those things where it's like I pointed out the issue to the staff, even called the manager, and they were just so nonchalant and blasé about it and didn't even see it as being an issue. They were just like,
Ooh.
oh, well, your food is filled with like a gallon of oil. Oh, that's no big deal. Eat around it. Like, no. If I came out and you're charging me as expensive and as high amount of pricing as you do for your food, I expect the service to be good. You don't see me complaining when it comes time to pay or to put my card and such. So I expect the same thing. Like if I'm going to be coming out and if it's for quality service food, then I expect quality service food. You can't be serving me the thing that's even worse than the fast food. That doesn't
Yeah,
make any
because that's not
sense.
your line. That's not your line.
No.
No. Mm-mm. I shouldn't feel like I would get better service at Wendy's or
Yeah.
McDonald's. Mm-mm.
Nope. No,
Mm-mm.
nor should you. No, should you.
Mm-mm.
No,
But hey,
should
what
you.
can you do? So, I mean, we could go on about this all day long. You know how we are with food and drinks.
This is true. This is
But I
true. We
would
love our
say
food and
to end
drinks.
it off on a good and positive note, what do you expect to do for this holiday season for your food?
I will say, well, we've already got the menu. I'm making cranberry sauce, stuffing. I'm doing a salmon for the protein for those who don't eat meat. And then I'm also doing a like a charcuterie board as like the appetizers before we actually have the meal as like sort of like our brunch thing before
Okay,
we start
fancy
eating.
pants.
I'm throwing it down this year. I mean, not as much as before because it was way too much food last year. So this time we're scaling back a bit, but
Mm,
we're still putting a touch of that class with a little bit of sass. You know what I'm saying?
it wasn't too much last year. I greatly appreciated it.
Yeah, that's because I sent you home with 2 trays of food.
I know. That's why I'm saying it wasn't too much last year. You scale
Well,
back, and I'm only going to leave with one tray. What am I? A
I'm
savage?
sorry. I'm sorry, girl. Well, you're just gonna have to, be prepared that this may very well be the reality this year for you.
Oh, the peasantry. Well, I will say for me, since I
Mm-hmm.
will be doing my Thanksgiving rounds, I got a couple invites, so I'll be making my pop-ins. Me
Yep.
being the primary, location to be at because just cause.
Yeah, well, listen, pack up a little extra at the other places, especially if there's something that you like, just in case.
Oh,
Just
of
in case.
course. I've got my dessert places. I've got what are you making that won't be at the other house place? Yes, yes, I'll gather that. Plus, I'm going to be dropping my parents off at my family. So obviously, I'm going to get my plate there because,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to feed me.
Of course, indeed.
But my job will always be to not cook. You're welcome. You're
You better bring
welcome,
drinks at
people.
least.
I am bringing drinks. I will be making mimosas. I
Mm-hmm.
will be making my own version of the knock 'em out punch. Bless your hearts.
Ooh, well, I mean, Mary is very excited to see what you're going to be presenting this Thanksgiving for the drinks because no one else is making drinks. Like, literally, it's all you on drinks.
Oh,
No pressure
seriously?
or nothing. No pressure or
Mm,
nothing. But yeah, it's
okay,
only you.
well,
So, whatever you're bringing, all the alcohols and the punch that you're making, like, this is what we're going to be, centering the whole event at. So,
wow. That is.
start practicing in advance or something if you need to. But if you already got the recipe down, we're just gonna have to trust you and hope that everything goes well.
I'm gonna have to dust up my recipe book, girl. I'm gonna have to dust up my recipe book.
Indeed, indeed. I'm
All
sure everything
right.
will turn out fine.
It will because we'll be drinking and eating. Thank you. Drinking and
So
eating. Nobody's going to work tomorrow, so y'all can just go to bed.
exactly. So what would you like to leave our listeners with before we head out?
Happy Thanksgiving if we don't hear from us, after this, because I'm pretty sure we're going on break. And also to remember that November 12th is the greatest holiday of the year because it's my birthday. Happy birthday to me!
Happy birthday indeed. Well, I'm going to leave with our listeners with thank you again, as always, for coming and listening to us. We're so grateful for you. Without you, we wouldn't be where we are. We really do appreciate you taking the time to, listening to us out, listening to our chit chat, and, coming in and laughing with us and going on this journey.
And thank you. Thank you for being with us. This is our first go around. And, when I win my Grammy, Tony, Oscar
Oh, my
moment,
goodness.
I'm going to remember every single last one of y'all because you people, you, yes, you, is the reason why I'm up here accepting my future Tony, Oscar, Grammy. I don't know in what category, but we're not going to talk about that yet.
Okay. Well, until then, bye.
Bye.